Hi, I'm Michty Maxx, and I'm here to share my first playtime with the Melt Cosmetics Radioactive stack. I created this rainbow-esque look using every single color in the stack, and had a lot of fun doing it. I even used a couple of shades on the lips to create a matte, bright gradient lip to go full-on crazy all over the face. This look is great for a festival, or just for the fuck of it, and that's all the reason I need. So, I recently made my purchase from the Melt Cosmetics website, and I just busted open the box full of random mouths, and ensconced in some light pink tissue paper is a very pretty holographic box containing some awesome fun just waiting to happen. I'll give you my thoughts at the end after you see these eyeshadows perform on my face. And as this month is all about rainbows, here we go. First, I primed my eyelids with Too Faced Shadow Insurance, not forgetting underneath the eye. Then I whipped out the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and applied it under my eyebrow for a white, creamy highlight base, and blended it out with my fingertip. I went to the Sugar Pill Matte White Eyeshadow in Taco and took the Sigma E50 Large Fluff brush to set that cream base and give a nice bright matte highlight on the brow bone. I have the Inglot No. 101R eyeshadow and the Naked 3 brush to swirl the medium and deepest shadows for a transition shade through the crease, and I merged that into the matte white with the lightest shadow and dusted a bit more taco over the brow bone. Back to the Milk Jumbo pencil, and I coated my mobile lid, patted and smoothed it out to spread the product up to the crease. This is a very important product if you want to deal with bright eyeshadows. I made sure the lid was coated with enough product and got stuck into the stack. First, from the Melt Radioactive stack, I have Neon, an aptly named Beautiful Neon Yellow, and with a MAC 239 brush, I'm packing the eyeshadow over the cream base in a round shape right up to the crease. I saturated the lid before going on to the next shadow, Radon, and I'm applying that with the Sigma E32 Exact Blend brush by pressing it onto the inner socket area with the tip of the brush. I'm only covering the first half of the crease, building up the pigmentation slowly, hugging around the yellow color and buffing the edge out with the transition shade brush. I layered on more Radon, packing it on heavily on the inner corner and taking it higher up into the start of the brow, while keeping it softly fading out across to the middle of the socket. I also used some of the lightest Inglot 101R shadow to buff the edge out towards the nose. After touching that up a bit more to get that juicy, sexy Radon shadow just right, I went on to the fabulous star of the show, Radioactive. And I'm dipping the Sigma E36 blending brush into that delightful hot pink pan to run it through the outer half of my socket, merging it with the Radon shade and pulling the edge outwards. I slid on back to Taco and pressed on some more matte white to my underbrow area, and I played with my inner crook, probing some Inglot transition shadow up there and making that eyeshadow high up in there and powerful enough. Then I blended through the crease to make it strong yet soft and pulled the shadow up at the edge for some lift. I cleaned up the lid with Neon and blended some zesty Radioactive into the deep crease for a bit more depth, and then to merge the crease into the lid, I pounced my tiny blending brush into Neon and fluffed that between the shades. I took it back to Radioactive to keep the neon bright pink stronger for longer, really bringing that shadow up to maximum brightness, and I'm taking it higher up onto the brow bone. I added more matte white to clean up the highlight and buff out the edge of the pink. Then I had to go once more, making sure all the eyeshadow shades were as vibrant and delightful as possible, giving the top a tasty blend while I'm at it. As I was cleaning up the fallout, I straightened up the outer edge of the eye shade. I brought some NYX Milk Jumbo Eye Pencil along my lower lid for a creamy base and blended the underside with my finger and a cotton bud. Next, I pushed the tip of the MAC 239 brush into Neon so I could press the bright yellow onto the inner half of my lower lash line. I have the last shade in the stack called Xenon, and with the Real Techniques detailed brush, I'm pushing the bright green up under my lashes to cover the rest of the lash line, and I'm buffing out the lower lid slightly with the Naked 3 brush. And I made sure it joined up to the upper lid. I zinged up the yellow and blended it across into the neon green, and also underneath the entire lower lid to soften the transition into the skin. I made sure the green was pigmented enough, running that detailed brush under there sideways to buff it out, and coaxing the shape into a cohesive look. Instead of using my usual white gel eyeliner, I decided to try something different and pick out the white cream from the Makeup Forever Flash palette and apply it to my waterline. This is a tremendously stupid thing to do, as I found out later. The product is highly pigmented and fantastic for many uses, but this is not one of them. Oh fuck, is this not one of them? As you can see, I'm having trouble with my eyeballs. Because this product doesn't set like the gel eyeliner, it won't stop drifting across the surface of my eyeball. I was basically blind for about half an hour, but now I apply cottage cheese to my tear duct. Then with the Sigma E46 Shader Inner Corner brush, I highlight my tear duct with the Balm Mary Luminizer, merging it with the lower lid and blending it into the inner socket area with the exact blend brush. Now it's time for eyeliner, and I'm using the Physicians Formula eyeliner pen in Ultra Black. I'm going incredibly thin on the inner half and making it really thick at the edge. I brought out my Inglot Matte Gel eyeliner in number 76, and I liquefied it with the Inglot Duraline to apply dots along my winged liner with a pointed cotton bud, making them larger in the middle and taper off at each end. I fixed up some major bits with the eyeliner pen, but this is just a base for the next step. I grabbed the Kryolan Aquacolor UV Day Glow palette to pick the UV purple shade, which I activated with MAC Fix Plus and dabbed on top of the white dots using a tiny nail art brush. I'm not being very pedantic about this bit, but the overall effect is still cool. This was very hard to achieve with my eyeballs giving me troubles, and I fixed up my lower lid, which had watered away a bit, and I curled my eyelashes in preparation for a layer of L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara in Extra Black, and topping that off with a layer of CoverGirl Clump Crusher Mascara as well. Then I've got the usual lower lash mascara with MAC Extended Play Giga Black Lash, with plenty on there to give a really spiky eyelash effect, which I will play with again later. And at this point, I couldn't stand the cloudy vision and decided to wipe off the white cream product off my waterlines and get rid of it with a cotton bud. And this made room for the correct product to use on the waterline, the Inglot Matte Gel eyeliner in number 76. I will not be making the same mistake again. I did my usual eyebrows with the Urban Decay Brow Box and Benefit Gimme Brow. Then I hit up my upper tight line with some Inglot Gel eyeliner in number 77, really wiggling that up into the lash bed. And to spruce up my natural lashes, I applied a set of Ardell Dimmy Wispy False Lashes. I squeezed them together and applied a thin line of the eyeliner pen to disguise the lash band and glue. I went back to the lower lashes to make them really spiky looking before going onto the face. I used Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer through the center and L'Oreal Lumi Magique Pure Light Primer around the perimeter and on my cheekbones, and pretty much everywhere else. I went on to NARS Copacabana Illuminator, which I applied onto my cheekbones, down my nose, on my forehead and chin with my fingers, working that into the skin to shine up my face all over. I'm trying out a sample of NARS Sheer Glow in Light 1, and I'm dotting that around my face before pouncing that into my skin with my damp beauty blender. After trying it a few times, I feel like this foundation is a little too full coverage and nowhere near as sheer or glowy as the name suggests. But I love the lightness of the shade.
This foundation is way more of a foundation than I'm used to.
I did my usual concealer routine. I went on to set the center of my face with diffused light Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. I juiced up my beauty spot with an eyebrow pencil and got ready for blush with this ColourPop Super Shock Cheek Matte in the shade Thumper. I grabbed the Synthetic Real Techniques blush brush and got plenty of product on there to give a bright pink flush from the apples back to my hairline, angled upwards. I'm sticking with a matte finish to match with the eyes. Back to that Mary Luminizer highlighter that I used on the eyes, but this time I took it for its intended purpose and applied it with the Hakuhodo S113 highlight brush on the tops of my cheekbones, above the brow on the cupid's bow, and down my nose using my finger too. Then for good measure, I packed more onto the inner corner, and while I was there, I blended the inner crease. I primed my lips with MAC Prep and Prime Lip Base, and I have the MAC Lip Pencil in Candy Yum Yum, which I used to line my lips, giving them a defined shape, and then I colored in the corners and filled in the perimeter, also pressing my lips together to blend the inner edge, but leaving the center bare. I grabbed the NYX Milk Pencil again to fill in the center area of my lips, while smushing them together to blend the white base with the pink pencil. Now I have the matching lipstick, MAC Candy Yum Yum, and I'm running the neon matte pink lipstick over the pencil and coating the perimeter of my lips, blending a little towards the center by munching on the cud. Next up is the OCC Lip Tar in Beta, which I squeezed out onto the back of my hand and applied to the center of my lips with my fingertip, moving the product around with my lips again, removing any excess from the center via the finger pop method and tapping the border between both colors with a clean finger to get a better gradient. You could leave the lips here, but for some fun and to make the lips really match the eyes, I brought back the Radon eyeshadow, and with my ever favorite finger, I pressed the eyeshadow over the orange lip tar. I blurred the edges by rubbing my finger across there, but to make the gradient flow, I used the same exact blend brush from the eyes, pressing it around the orange boundary. I wiped that brush off and dipped it into Radioactive to give the pink perimeter the same treatment, packing the hot pink shadow all around the outer area of my lips and brushing it into the orange shade. Using a smaller brush would have been neater, but I just cleaned up a bit around the lips with a cotton bud and using what was left on my beauty blender to touch that up. And I redefined the edge with the Candy Yum Yum pencil. And all that was left to do was rearrange my noodles, and my look is complete. I had a lot of fun cramming the entire Radioactive stack on my face and using the shadows absolutely everywhere. And I got a kick out of doing a bright neon makeup. I love color a lot, and this eyeshadow stack is a great addition to my collection, and I'm so happy I swiped it up. Good neons are hard to come by, and these eyeshadows aren't very chalky or hard to work with, which most brights can be. They blended easily enough and pack on well without much fallout. Radon and Radioactive are my favorite shades, but neon is awesome as well. I'm not that much of a green person, thus xenon doesn't knock my socks off. But it's a nice shadow if you like that sort of thing. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this nutty neon rainbow tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Also check out my band and podcast on iTunes. And if you want to send me a letter or something, I have my PO box in the description box.